This is Doxy.
This is Ketsua.
And I'm Richard Satchel, and you are watching or listening to Greynoise. Welcome to episode 165 of Greynoise, the show where we do our intros in advance. It shows.
I need some prep time.
Same here. So we are at the Sin Shop, as we are every Friday night. The Sin Shop is located at 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in beautiful downtown Henderson, Nevada. We are the Las Vegas Valley hackerspace. Crux is here too. Don't forget to...
In spirit.
In spirit, he is. Go to sinshop.org for information about the shop, and don't forget we have several classes and events coming up, including tomorrow we are going to have our board meeting. So if you'd like to see how the sausage of a makerspace in beautiful downtown Henderson, Nevada is made, you can come down and see us make rules about table saws.
You said sausage at first, and I got really excited because I thought we were making sausages. I was like, I'm into that.
I was like, whoa, okay.
I was like,
maybe I need to free up my Saturday.
My schedule is now clear.
If we're making hacker sausages, I'm kind of into that, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a hacker sausage.
I mean...
Well, I mean, that's not up to me.
You got to sacrifice for the greater good.
That's
okay?
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Also tomorrow we have our Danger Room class. So if you would like to play with power equipment, that is the class for you. Yeah. So and much more. To find out more about these and other events, go to meetup.com/synshop. SYNSHOP. If you'd like to tweet to us, you can do so at Greynoise Media. But the best place to interact with the show is our Discord, which you can join by going to our website. That's GREYNOI.SE. And with that, our special guest, Ketsuo.
Hello.
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 Yeah.
So how was everyone's week?
Katsua.
Wow.
How was your week?
Wow, put on the spot.
On the
immediately.
spot.
On the spot
Uh,
immediately.
No pressure.
My week was tiring. Mainly because my husband was doing OSCP, and I like to be involved. So I stayed up with him the whole time. I provided nourishment, as one would. I sat down with him. If maybe I could brainstorm with him. Maybe I just threw ideas.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate his time and dedication to something like that.
Look at that. He's bright red.
Yeah, I
Bright
know.
red. That's awesome.
It's a shameless plug
You
to my
got-
husband for doing a good job and passing.
You
Good
guys.
job.
Tried harder, and you did it. So
Look at that. Fucking knocked it out of the park.
I don't have anything that adorable.
Um,
No,
I know, I try. Apart from that, it was just did some more practice since I'm quite beginner in most things tech.
I mean, me too. We're all at the same level.
Everyone
I've just
is.
been going through a lot of YouTube videos on JavaScript and
Nice.
getting more knowledge on the front end. for that.
What? So you're trying to learn the front end and whatnot. Do you have a specific?
Don't specifically have anything in mind. At the
Okay.
moment, I'm just trying to learn as much as possible. Me and my husband started a website
Okay.
that we're working on.
Right.
So it's probably, it's going towards that end.
So nothing, but you have nothing like no specific roadmap per se. Like I want to learn this, then I want to learn this, or I want to learn this, or you
I
just
want to
have,
do UI. I want to do.
right.
This at this current time, I'm going through the very basics, syntax,
Gotcha.
things like that.
So what made you start with Java?
I didn't. I've gone through Python, C++, C#, Java.
So you're lying about your beginnerness.
I am really beginner. I have a lot of little knowledge about a lot
about a lot of different things.
but I'm not.
Welcome to tech. That's,
Yeah.
That's the rest.
I know
That's
less
the rest of
than
your
everyone
career.
else.
That's what we
Yeah.
do here. Yeah.
That's the rest of your career. Is like
yeah.
I know a little bit. Like people are like, hey man, we need someone who's an expert in blah 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 blah, and you're like, oh, I've heard of that before. You're the expert.
You're the expert. Yeah.
You're the expert
Yeah.
now. That's
Yeah.
honestly
how it works.
that's kind of what it is, and that's
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
You know more than the other people in the room, so congratulations.
Because you
Yeah.
didn't shake your head when we said blah blah blah. You're like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. They're like, awesome. You're the guy.
That's
or,
what
or
I
the
learned
woman.
now. Not an acknowledgement that you know
Ever.
something.
Don't ever.
Yeah,
Don't ever
just-
admit you
no.
know something.
No.
But you can come up with helpful suggestions afterwards.
Yes. Yeah.
When they're like, oh fuck, we have no idea. Like, what if we did this? Oh shit, nice.
Oh man, I always do. Like if I do know something and it gives me a chance to like jump the track and do something else,
You're on it.
I'm on it. Let's
You know,
do it.
Which I mean, isn't bad.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like that's how I got into DSIM stuff, data center information management
Okay.
tools.
Acronyms everywhere.
It's just as far as the eye can see. Or AFATECS. Anyway, I was trying to make an acronym. Did not work. I am playing the part of Chen tonight. But yeah, no. Basically, that's how I got into that because everybody was like, "Hey, everybody, we're going to have this brand new thing. It's going to catalog all our servers," and everybody else was like, "I don't want to do that." I was like, "I want to do that."
Which is
2 years
good.
later, I don't have to lift servers.
Hey man, that's
Nice.
great. I do love learning new stuff, but also it's like 50-50. It's like
Yeah.
50-50. I love learning new stuff, but also at the same time, I got a lot of stuff that I already don't know very well. I need to learn that too.
Yeah.
So I can only half-ass learn so many things at one time.
Amen. No,
I
that's
understand.
That's, yeah.
Honestly.
I had gone through JavaScript briefly before, and the fact that me and my husband are
Like doing it at the same time now.
well, not so much. His knowledge is different level to mine. But since we were talking about starting a website, etc., I thought, well, maybe I should just have a little bit more in-depth look at JavaScript and see what it can offer.
Like what it can do for you as
yeah,
far
for
as
me,
website building.
If
and stuff
that's
like
something that I want to use, etc.
that. And you decided you want to use it.
At least I want to know more about it.
Why? What was it about it that made you say, I want to learn more about it? I'm very interested in like beginner's perspective about stuff because I have a lot of friends that are like trying to break into either tech in general or security specifically, and they're kind of like, where do I start? There's so many things. So what? So and you say you've dabbled in Python and other things like.
Yeah.
So what is it about Java that where you're like, that's what I want to focus on?
Honestly, not so much in my own knowledge that I gather that that's something that I should do, but mostly from what I heard other people that are in the business that maybe, hey,
maybe you should dive into this.
yeah, that seems like it'd be useful if you're looking for front end development. And so that's where I went. But then, someone did kind of point, well, also maybe like look at other things, because you don't want to be the person
that only knows one thing.
that's stuck in the front end.
You definitely don't. Not necessarily front end, but you definitely don't want the person that only knows one. I mean, if you know that one thing very well, you're still valuable, but you don't want to be like such and such only knows this. That's it.
Right.
Community mic.
You also don't want to risk.
We can't hear you back
You
there.
can't hear
Sorry.
you.
Community mic. Go ahead.
I think what you're doing is a good thing to do, but I would suggest focusing on a deliverable, even if it's a small one.
Okay.
And the reason you want to do that is that it gives you that success in going through that process, because it's easy to be a nibbler. And
Yes.
a lot of technical people are nibbler. But
I'm a nibbler.
They generally don't go be above level 1 or level 2. You're never going to become an architect.
Yeah.
And the architect's where the money is.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that whatever this project you're doing will make you dollars.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
sell it, you can move it, you can learn something that will make you a lot of money, like data science or something like that.
Yeah.
So by taking that focus, it'll bring you around very quickly onto the things that are relevant for making money, and that's what people are going to pay you to do as a technical person.
Yeah. I appreciate that knowledge. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You also want to make sure that your one skill doesn't become obsolete.
Yes.
So.
That is
I
true.
mean, yes, 100% agree, but there's no way to future-proof against something becoming obsolete, because technology evolves so fast and like things advance and like.
There is more than one skill.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
So-
more than
so-
one skill. Yeah, don't pigeonhole yourself.
So
Yeah.
maybe nibbling everything isn't the correct answer. Maybe specializing in one thing isn't the answer.
Yeah.
The correct answer is somewhere in between, because if you say specialized and say certain kinds of mainframe computers that don't exist anymore, well,
You're
you
trash
worked
now.
really good early in your career, but you're screwed now.
I will say to that. I bet there's
Yeah.
still one somewhere, and you will get paid buku bucks
you
if
go.
you're that one person that knows that one mainframe language for the one mainframe that's still around 30, 40, 50, 60 years later. You get paid buku bucks. So maybe do specialize.
If I had stayed in COBOL,
Hey man, if
learning-
you were a COBOL developer,
I know.
If you were a COBOL developer, you would be. Oh my, oof.
I took it and then I put it down and walked away.
Oof.
I was like, no.
And if you use money as your guiding force, it will always push you towards technical solutions that people are willing to pay for. So in other words, the latest skills
Yeah.
or the ones that are really hard to do that they can't find anybody else to do.
Right.
That means you'll have a good career.
Yes.
And when you look at it from a career standpoint, it doesn't matter what you're doing in tech. It matters, are you getting paid to do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't make
Otherwise,
dollars,
it's
it don't
just
make
research.
sense.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just research, and I hate research as much as I hate documentation, and I hate both those things.
No one likes reading.
But you get paid for it.
You do get paid for research and documentation. Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Yep.
I'm not very good at it. I've said this many times on the show, but I mean, someone's got to do it. It's got to get done.
Right? So I had an experience this week, and it led me to a need for a phrase. Hold.
Community said pedantic. That is not the phrase.
That is not the
Satchel
phrase.
is indicating.
It's not the phrase. So, I was in courses. I've been taking classes for trying to get a certification for a thing for the first 3 days of this week. Just classes. Einsweick, taking class, right? And by the third day, I was like, okay, I can't do anymore. If I don't get out of the house, I'm gonna go nuts. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Fry's.
Electronics.
Electronics, yeah, it's an
Okay.
electronics store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's also a grocery store.
Yes.
If
it
you live
is.
outside of
Arizona.
Vegas.
Is that right?
Arizona. It's a grocery store too.
I was shocked when I got here.
That is really
yeah.
weird.
Fry's is other stores too. Also, sorry. Go ahead. Continue. Yes.
So on the way there is a road, and it turns into 2 lanes, but it's not really 2 lanes, but it's 2 lanes, right? They do that a lot here, and I don't know why. But there's no marker, but it's 2 lanes. It's cactus, right? So
Okay.
whatever.
I'm
So,
terrible with directions.
Fair enough. Going down this road, person driving maybe the speed limit, maybe just a smidgen under. I'm like, hey, there's another lane. No big deal. See you later. Going
Godspeed.
around. No, wrong. Cuts me off. And I don't mean just like an ease over. No, I mean a sudden jerking of the wheel, like I saw her door handle, like it was serious. Like she was she was like, no, you shall not pass. Like fucking lightning bolts and all that stuff.
She's like, fuck, you're good driving.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So there needs to be a word for people who violently defend something that just does not matter. Because what was going to happen was I was going to go past her. And what did happen is a block later, she turned and I went past her. So she risked her car for nothing.
I have it. I got the term.
What you got?
Asshole.
That is a really good one. I do agree.
Well,
That seems to be the most succinct way of defining who that person is. If she, he, whoever it was,
yeah.
I'd be like, oh, you're that asshole.
But then people can be assholes for other reasons.
They can, but it's like a specific thing. It's like you could be like a road asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a grocery store asshole. You could be like a pedantic asshole. There are many flavors of asshole, and you can pepper them with whatever you want. In general, they're assholes.
I mean,
there's like assholes that like stop me from doing what I need to do to get my production releases out. You know, as far as work is involved.
Yeah.
They're just assholes littered all over the place.
Sprinkled with assholes.
This asshole sprinkled all over.
The
it.
valley
It's really like just asshole sprinkles.
Asshole
everywhere.
sprinkles everywhere,
That's not,
man.
Yeah, that's not probably. I mean, but that is true though. There's a lot of sprinkles of.
I don't have a better name because I'm not clever, but I feel like asshole is the best way to define those kinds of people.
You know what? We'll go ahead and stick with asshole for now.
Asshole sounds good to me.
All right. It has been decided.
It is decided. Okay.
So how was your week?
It was, by the numbers, no big deal.
All right.
I mean, it was good. Okay, I don't have a lot to say about it. It was good. It was terrible at first. Then we fixed a lot of stuff. Then it was good. Ended good. So I don't have to worry about working over the weekend. And now I feel like I'm accomplished, and that's fine.
Fair enough.
My biggest fear
Yes.
with any work stuff is that I'm going to have to work over the weekend or after hours. After hours isn't such a big deal because I'm like, okay, I'm already in the work mood kind of because I'm like, I was at work today.
I'm already here. Whatever.
I'm already here. Fine. I'll stay a couple of extra hours.
Sure.
No big deal. If you call me on the weekend, chances are playing Overwatch, I'm not going to talk to you anyway. Or I'm drunk, also not going to talk to you anyway. So, like, if I have to work on the weekend, that's like, if I know it's coming up and I'm probably going to work on the weekend, I'm not happy about it. But during the week, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But long story short, we have seemed to have resolved our issues, so now we're good, and now the weekend is mine.
Hooray.
And guess what I'm going to do?
Play Overwatch.
Play all the goddamn Overwatch.
Are you also going to see Spawn?
Venom, you mean?
Damn it. Are you also going to
Ooh,
see Venom?
so close. I saw it already. Saw it last night.
And?
Wasn't bad.
Okay.
I saw Venom. So currently Venom has a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe.
Yeah.
It does not deserve that rating.
Interesting.
It is so much better than that.
Okay.
It's not a great movie. It's not Infinity War. It's not Spider-Man Homecoming, whatever. It's not a great movie by any stretch of imagination, but it's also not a bad movie.
Okay.
It's a very okay movie. Like, I would watch it again. It's very entertaining, which is all I want when I go to the movies. I want you to be entertaining.
Right.
If you can't follow the storyline, make your storyline better or entertaining enough that I don't care. And Venom did that.
Yeah.
Because if people don't know, Venom doesn't have Spider-Man in it.
Right.
Because Marvel now owns the rights to Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and this Peter Parker name or whatever. They can't mention Spider-Man in the movie. So now it's just Venom on his own with the rest of the symbiote and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. I had a huge problem with that because I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan. But whatever. No big deal. The movie did a good job of like circumventing that and not making it a big deal that Spider-Man wasn't in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I remember you were pretty hardcore against it.
I was very... Yes.
Yeah.
The whole way.
Yeah.
Walking into the movie, I was like, I can't wait for this pile of shit that I'm going to watch. I walked out and I was like, I'd watch that again. The biggest turnaround in my life ever.
Is that right?
Wasn't terrible. That's
Bigger than Luke Cage season 2? No, sorry, wrong. Better than Iron Fist season 2.
So much better.
Okay.
So much better. Like, I was expecting to be so disappointed that I was kind of like whatever in the movie, but I was like, I'm actually really engaged.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in what happens in this movie, and I can't say that about a lot of shitty movies that I thought were shitty before going into it. But Venom, not complete turnaround, but I was like, I get the appeal. It's good, and it's not a perfect movie at all, but it definitely doesn't deserve what is like a 30% on like its rating.
I'm really surprised it's that low.
Also,
definitely way better than that.
I had not. I mean, I'd only seen trailers, and again,
Trailers are trash.
and I was like, well, I didn't. I haven't seen the movie yet, but my expectations weren't. They weren't super low. They were just like medium.
Just like
whatever. It's probably gonna be. I mean,
it'll be a movie. It's a movie I'll watch.
I haven't been a super fan of these superhero movies.
Okay, can I caveat that? Are you not a fan of any superhero movie or just DC, or like Marvel and DC?
All of them in general.
Oh boy, okay.
It's just not my style.
Okay. All right.
Well, we're gonna have to take a quick break while we. No, I'm kidding.
Where's that troubleshooting thing?
It's just not my style of movie. Without getting too much into it, but like I was saying, I am actually really shocked that it has gotten such
low reviews.
Yeah.
I will say, it's better than every DC movie besides Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was amazing.
Because it got it's like at 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, which Batman vs Superman was at like 28, 26, something like that. I don't know. It is nowhere near that level. It's so much better than that. But maybe also again because I had such low expectations.
That's the best way to go about it. Just have it really low.
And
then you're going to come out surprised.
And I was like, oh, fuck, this is great. Okay, not great, but I was like, it's good. I don't know. But also, we'll revisit that about you not liking superhero movies, because that's a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
don't like that at all.
I'll just quickly exit.
Don't like that at all.
Don't care for that. No, so I'll probably go see that tomorrow, and so I will have a full report.
And we can definitely talk about it.
Outstanding.
It'll be in the spoilers channel. If you're in our Discord, you should join the spoilers channel if you've seen the movies and or shows we're talking about.
Yep. And you can find our Discord channel at greynoi.se.
Boom. Plug in.
If you didn't know that. Now you know.
You're welcome, people.
Yep, there you go. So earlier this week, do we want to go on to...
do it, yeah.
Let's do this.
Perfect segue.
I do what I can. Earlier this week, Bloomberg Business Week had a story that kind of said something that to me, I was like, well, duh. But apparently, they have found some chips that have been placed into hardware by Supermicro, who's a manufacturer of a lot of motherboards for different companies.
Right, yes.
I can't tell you how many white label freaking Supermicro servers I've seen with a different flashy name on the front and piece of crap in the back. But because the Supermicros, they just break constantly. Yeah, okay. So anyway, so basically they found that these were a thing. And so, of course, as soon as this happened, these are in mostly, it looks like Elemental servers. They were assembled for Elemental by Supermicro Computer, yeah. And it's just like, they got a picture of it here. Like, it's just a tiny little thing. It's like fitting on the top of somebody's finger in the picture.
To describe it, it was described as smaller than a grain of rice.
Yeah, exactly.
Smaller than a grain of rice.
Yeah. Just a tiny little thing. So I guess that kind of led me to a couple different questions. So number one, immediately, of course, Amazon and Apple both were like, "Oh my God, no, this did not happen."
But not immediately, right? Like it took.
I think it was the following day.
The following day, so a little like to respond. Okay, to respond to get their PR together and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, go ahead.
And so that's one thing. The instant and total and complete denial, which is
that there wasn't these chips on their boards.
There's not those chips on our board. I have no idea how in the world they would know that they weren't on those.
I will come after you get all your questions out. I'll come back to that in a second.
All right, and question number two, how is anyone surprised? Like, that's the only thing that surprises me about this is how is anyone
that people
surprised?
are surprised?
Yeah.
Here's the thing: people are idiots.
Okay, well, asked and answered.
Sorry, I as I get older, I have less patience for people, and I feel like people are just dumb.
Yeah.
And they do dumb things, and they let dumb things happen.
Yeah. But I mean, if you don't seek out options that aren't made in a country that may or may not want to spy on all the things.
Every country wants to spy on us.
I second the statement.
Yes. Sorry, what was your first question again?
So I get the first question, not really a question, more a statement, but the immediate and total and complete denial from Apple and Amazon both. Oh no. I guess in a way where I'm shooting with this is number one, maybe we should make some of these things at home. I've been saying that for a while. Whatever. The other thing though is that to me it's another sign that you shouldn't take all of your things and give them to someone else.
Oh yeah,
which is what you're doing when you're on a cloud service.
So my question to you is, how is it that manufacturing these chips in America would cause them to be any more secure than manufacturing them in China? Are you sure that the NSA doesn't want to do the exact same thing that this Chinese entity tried to do?
So the NSA, they can go to Google, they can knock on the door, and they can say, "Hey, I want your stuff. And they can say, no, you can't have our stuff. And they can say, yes, we can. And then they'll have our stuff. That's why I've been saying for months, we are post-security. Like, that is not a thing. Like, no matter how secure you think you are, when you are at the other end of a rifle, you are no longer secure. You're going to hand them your phone, and you're going to do what you're told. You know? Like, that's why I've been saying, we are post-security at this point. So, I mean, the NSA, that bit doesn't scare me at all.
Well, there are ways for certain apps that have point-to-point encryption where theoretically the owning entity of the app can't read the messages contained within it. I believe, what was it, WhatsApp? Sorry. WhatsApp was well known for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as soon as they get subpoenaed.
As soon as they get subpoenaed, that's great because the encryption is point-to-point, not going through the parent server. So theoretically, it's secure. But if you were able to put a chip on the board on the phone that has the secured messaging app on it, then now we have bypassed something that's not subpoenaable.
Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Well, so, okay, it's one thing for me to have that on my phone, okay? Oh, my God, the NSA knows that I like, this party or that party or whatever. Who cares, right? They know that I think the Wobblies are a pretty cool idea. That doesn't really matter nearly as much as them having government servers that are supposedly encrypted, supposedly private, government information, your tax information, my tax information, the whole flipping world, everyone's criminal record, what they like, files, blah, 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 military intelligence, all running on these things that are able to phone home or in some way collect data.
Because I will say, you mentioned what's the difference between like China having a chip on our board or NSA having access to our phones or whatever. There's a large difference between some other nation state having access to all of our devices and all of our servers and secure places and whatnot, and the NSA having access to our phones and our records and whatnot, because two different missions. And I mean, we can honestly, as common folk, not know what either of these people's missions are, but we can assume from what they tell us and what we expect them to be, we can assume what they're looking for. So like the NSA having a backdoor to my phone or subpoenaing our records or whatever are looking for things that I won't assume, but Chinese intelligence having access to our government records and whatnot on government servers and whatnot, I would assume is a lot more detrimental to our country's security than the NSA having access to that is. Yeah. And
troop movements.
Yeah, troop movements. I mean, it's not the equivalent, but it's in the same realm as them having access to our troops' Fitbit records and their all the fitness stuff and whatever, and like where they're going and whatnot. Like, it's just two separate, completely different entities.
I don't like either of them.
I mean,
I roll my own cloud for a reason.
No one does. And like, I'm not justifying one or the other.
Yeah.
Like, it's all terrible. Like, I don't want anyone to have access to my information. But the world we live in, I hate this. I fucking hate to say this, but like, you gotta choose what you want to give up at a certain point. Like, and I really hate to say that, and I don't want to be that person, but like, you can only be so secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all honesty, and like, we can debate till we die, but you can only be so secure. There's only so much you can protect against, unless, and not even then, unless you live as a hermit in a hut on a village that doesn't exist anywhere else. You wear a tinfoil hat all the time. You don't use a cell phone. You don't use any communication. You don't even write letters, because even that's interceptable. You don't do anything. You are your own person, and unless you do that, nothing is secure. And that's just a fact of life now.
Yeah. Google Earth was the government's platform to figure out where all the hobos were at.
The hobos were at? I mean, maybe. Who knows? I don't fucking know.
Where all of us.
They obviously don't care where the hobos are at. Because not doing anything for them anyway.
Because at the same time, when you're giving up this information, you have to understand what they want, and they don't give a shit about you and your friends.
Yeah.
Doing whatever dumb shit you think is cool. They don't give a shit. There are much bigger fish at play.
So I think that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So a lot of this is focused around government, but no one's actually kind of brought up the fact that like corporations still, if you give them all that information, they can just be as powerful.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Like jokes. Shadowrun is a perfect.
It's not a joke that corporations run our country right now. That's not a joke at all.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, you might bring it back stateside or home,
right,
as you say, but does that matter if a corporation is still doing and putting a chip in there and then trying to become the next world world traded, not publicly just U.S., but publicly traded to the world global economy. I mean,
If we went the Shadowrun direction, then yeah, absolutely, that would be a thing.
I mean, he does have a point. If Amazon, Google, and Microsoft stood together, how much of the infrastructure that it would take for our government to solve the problem would have been crippled?
I'm not disagreeing with
how,
you.
How many military and DoD related things are stored in AWS? If Amazon just simply says we're shutting off all your AWS stuff, how much have they just crippled our military's ability to perform their function?
Right.
No,
one
not
more,
that much. Yeah.
more
We're
community
like totally. What were you gonna say earlier?
Yeah,
let's go.
Sorry, I was just going to say that I don't mind certain information being gathered.
being leaked.
Not being like, I guess if it's going to stay in the country where I currently
Right.
reside.
Yes.
So if they're if that information is being gathered to stop terrorism, and stop fraud, crimes, things that are actually crimes. I am not opposed to someone collecting information that I might have on my phone or online, whatever it may be. I don't mind someone gathering. To me, it feels kind of like CCTV in England. There's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
If I was walking down the street, something happened, I feel quite confident it's going to be on that camera.
So now, on those CCTVs, that is government, it's police officers that watch that.
Yes, 100%.
And if someone comes up and grabs your wallet or whatever, they'll actually play it back and they'll be like, oh, there's the guy.
And if you're lucky, in some instances, if someone catches it, they might be responsive enough before someone else goes out. So I appreciate certain things about gathering information, CCTV, those kind of things.
That you appreciate that oversight.
Yes, but again, I understand from other people's perspectives that gathering information is sensitive. And if anyone was to leak that information to a different country, it's damaging.
Yeah,
to
but
everyone.
Definitely damaging.
The thing with it is, though, is that I guess here, when I first heard that, I was like, oh my God, they're going to watch all the things and do the stuff and, oh, the big brother and blah, blah, blah. But a situation like this where they actually watch it and then go do something.
But
Yes.
but here's the thing is that I don't know if it's like an American thing or like just like a and like we're scared thing, but it's like we always assume the worst is gonna happen from what they're gathering on us. So not that they'll help, they'll watch it and be like, okay, whatever, the person got stolen. I don't care about that. But also, what's this person doing in their day-to-day life? Let's track their patterns. Let's watch what they're doing. Oh, they eat a bagel every day here at 8 a.m. Now I know that person.
So-
Right?
Would you be okay with them gathering that information if you were also able to see the information on them? So the invasion of privacy goes both ways for everyone's security.
Actually,
we can look at the politicians to make sure that they are performing their job correctly, that they're not being involved in corruption, that they're not having under-the-table deals. But in return, we give up the fact that they can figure out where I'm eating a bagel at.
corruption doesn't happen on CCTV. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
But it does happen in a room with a cell phone.
So these things where CCTVs are public spaces, they're not going to have CCTVs in like Senate hearing committees or like private rooms where private functions are going on and whatnot. So I feel like that's a weird argument to have because like that's them giving up their privacy for it's a bad argument.
There have been accusations that the NSA is able to turn on your phone remotely and activate the microphone and listen to what's going on.
And
I'm
at
sure they
that,
can.
at that point, we're talking about two different things.
And if
that's not talking about like us comparing our lives versus like
the
a
question
Senate's hearing. Like
the
a
question
Senate or
was,
whatever.
would you be more okay with the bulk collection of data if you could see the data on the other side?
Me personally, no.
Yeah, don't.
No.
Because it's the same thing with flying cars, right? I might want a flying car, but I don't want you to have a flying car. I don't want. There's definitely people in this room. I don't want to have a flying car. I'm mostly joking, mostly. No, but seriously, like when you might be completely competent with a flying car, but that lady that freaking ran me off the road on Wednesday, I don't want her having a flying car.
Ran you out of the cloud?
She would have ran me. She would have ran me out of the cloud. I'm already out of the cloud.
Sorry, community mic, and then we'll.
Yeah.
All right, hopefully this won't be shorter, but to answer this question, the people who control the NSA are obviously the ones that say, don't monitor us. Right?
Yeah.
That's probably, you need your argument to say.
And that's a large part of it too, yes.
Right. But the other argument, and I wouldn't maybe call it an argument, but example of say, is it okay to say, well, are they spying us? Kind of a tangent here, sort of. So bear with me for a
getting into
second.
it.
So, for example, corporations will say, hey, you want to break on your health care? What's it called? Not the deposit, the deductible, right? Get a blood screening, right? Do the stuff, and you could basically say save $500, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So I brought that to a doctor one
We
time.
talked about this.
Said, yes.
Yes.
And I said, hey, this is pretty cool. Instead of getting my blood drawn again, why don't you take a look at this? And my doctor said, oh, this is interesting. Why is that? I said, oh, well, in this blood collection that your company did, they didn't do it. They hired another company. They took some extra data there. I said, really? Like what? It's like, oh, well, for example, this I would never use, but it tracks some like your blood alcohol level or like a generic, how much you've been drinking for the past week, right? Now, what else are they collecting from that sample, right? Because if you consent to that, you're giving that data. Now, an HR friend of mine said they cannot fire you, like say you did something like marijuana and your company does drug tests, but they can certainly hold that information back and say, next time if somebody does something weird, like, doxy, you're at work and,
I do weird shit.
yeah, it's like, you know what? We need an excuse to lay off people, do a riff, whatever. See who's been doing marijuana, Now, they're not going to tell you that, but they can certainly use that covertly, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the NSA. Let's
Yeah.
say we go back to these chips. Let's say they are kind of monitoring. They could always hold that information back and kind of say, or sell it to a company.
Wait till it's more valuable.
Wait till it's more valuable. Yeah. And right now, what do you do with an employer? When an employer does an HR check on you, they Google you, right?
Yeah.
Do you have drunk photos of you on Facebook? Do you do stupid shit, right? They will use that against you to recruit you.
Absolutely.
Who's to say that they're not going to buy information from, say, somebody?
I mean, I feel like it's almost guaranteed they will buy information.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that though is more general, whereas the specific thing with the chips is more inter-country espionage, is more like because when you no longer own the means of production, right? The further that gets away from where you are, the less that manufacturer's interests align with yours. It's like if you take, let's take a screwdriver company, Craftsman back in the day, right? Okay, so these would be guys that were working with their hands. They go through all this and they go through all these different types of metal and types of plastic and types of wood and all this to make the perfect screwdriver that works really well, never lets you down, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we fast forward to now, and we send that overseas, and what they want, what a manufacturing company anywhere else in the world, I'm not trying to point any fingers at anyone specifically here, but I'm saying what another country is going to want is to produce that thing for the lowest cost per unit. And that's it. That's what they're concerned with. So they're going to scrape together some metal that is left over from making Hot Wheels cars, and they're going to slap a cheap plastic piece of crap on the end, and there you go. My point is that the further away the means of production gets from you, the less aligned with your interests they are, generally speaking.
I agree.
Fire.
This is really old news. And so
the chips.
Yeah, the chip problem's been around for a long time, and most countries do this. When you manufacture a chip, you typically will do your design and send it to a foundry, which then does engineering modifications. And that's where they typically, no matter if it's us, the Israelis, the Russians, whoever it is, that's where they insert their back doors. And an example of that was the RQ-170 that was brought down in Iran by Chinese technicians in 2011. That was done through a GPS chip that they had slipped in some extra things into the die. So this is a common thing. So why did they all of a sudden release it in the way they did release it suddenly at this point? Why are we now just finding out about this, and why in such a dramatic format? From the article itself, which was all black and evil looking, to the when it hit after a warship encounter between the Chinese and the United States, where they came within 45 feet of hitting each other. I have to question, why would this old news all of a sudden become big news? I don't have that answer, but I want you to think about that. They're forcing you to think this way for a reason. I suspect it has something to do with, I don't know, maybe a ship that was off of in the Gulf of Tonkin, or a battleship that blew up in Cuba. Just to think about
So you're
it.
saying misdirection.
I'm saying
He's saying
they're
false
looking-
flag.
This is yellow cake. This is the yellow cake in 2003.
But that's
They're going to put Colin Powell up there and say, we got to go blow up the Chinese because they're putting chips in here and stealing all our information.
We are. I don't want to say that. I will say possibly misdirection. I mean, that's a huge thing for governments.
Yeah.
Not specifically our government, governments in general.
Yeah.
But I don't. That's the thing I don't want to delve into.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
That's outside the scope of what our podcast talks about.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I also have ideas of why certain entities might want to release certain information at our current climate in
And
the
we can
United
definitely
States.
talk about that afterwards.
But yes, I think
That
it's
is
best.
outside the
Yeah.
scope of what this podcast talks about.
Yep.
And I don't know enough to speak intelligently on any of that. And I don't like looking like a dummy.
Well, fair enough.
Sorry.
So the what was the other thing we had?
Ketsu, I feel like, had mentioned social engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to just bring up the idea of, because it's something me and my husband were talking about, and the idea that people in general don't like to be perceived as wrong.
That's
You just
true.
said yourself.
I literally just said it.
You don't want to seem like
Like
you
a
don't know what
dummy.
you're talking about.
Don't want to seem like a dummy.
So you withheld from responding. So in that sense, when you want to gather information from someone, you might give them a wrong statement to force them to reply to you, because no one wants to know. Everyone likes to be better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone likes to have the last say.
What you're saying, if I don't want to be wrong,
For example, for example, I like learning, right?
yes.
People are not as willing to give up information nowadays as they have been.
That's my whole thing with the RTFM, which is why me and Chin are so mad at each other right now. That's why he's not here, actually.
What?
He got very upset about me RTFMing him all the time. I'm just a joke. It's
Oh.
not true. That's not true. That's not true.
But it's the idea people withhold information. So you make a wrong statement. Now that person is seen maybe possibly as someone who's knowledgeable. They consider themselves knowledgeable. But they're not really helping you. You want to learn about something new, something that haven't dealt with as much. But they're like, just go Google it. It's like, but you know the information. I know because you're experienced, you're knowledgeable. I'm acknowledging the fact that you're knowledgeable, but you're not willing to share that information with me. So you give a wrong statement. A lot of the times that forces someone to go, hey, no, you're wrong. Let me tell you the right way to do things.
Actually, there's an internet law about this. Actually, I can't remember what it is, and I feel dumb for not knowing it. But I'm going to look it up real quick. Comedian Mike?
Yeah, it's actually what I'm saying is kind of condense what she was saying is that to find the answer, sometimes the quickest way is just to stand in a position that you already know is wrong, so that you can hear the information from the person that you know has the answer.
Right. Yeah.
It's called Cunningham's Law.
Correct.
Cunningham.
The best way to get the right answer on the internet is to not ask a question, it's to post the wrong answer. And people will immediately contradict you and tell you what actually it is.
Yes.
And that's BGM would talk about it all the time in the past when he was on the show, and he would always mention that. And it's a very true thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you post the wrong answer, they're like, well, here's why you're wrong. And they'll go very into detail about why you're wrong and what the actual right answer is and all the other permutations of that thing.
People like to feel like they know.
They do,
Yeah.
which like a sideways thing to that is why I have such a problem with DEF CON and stuff like that. We've talked about it a lot. I don't know if you saw our earlier shows, but I have a huge problem with DEF CON and things like that because people, they want to be knowledgeable, but at the same time they withhold information.
Yeah, it's very elitist attitude sometimes.
Oh my God.
Right?
My God. I wish you were here a couple weeks ago when Chen was here.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, this would have been great because we talked about this a lot when I was like, I don't like that elitist attitude of people at DEF CON when they're like, hey, like I could tell you what you want to know, but also go RTFM. Oh my God, Chen, I can't wait for you to listen to this episode. And they say that, like, they don't say that specifically, but they say like they give you the air of they don't want to help you because you're beneath them.
Yes.
You're lower than them. You
Yeah.
don't know as much as them. I'm like, that's fine. Like everyone starts somewhere, but like I come to you because I know I could read the manual as a normal smart person. I could read the manual, but there's something lost in you telling me, like this is what the manual says, but also know that this doesn't quite work, but it works better if you do it this way. Like
Yes.
there's a lot to say for that. Like that goes a long way. Like as far as your knowledge pursuit and like things you want to work on and whatnot, it goes a long way to be like, hey, I know what the manual says, but this is a better way to do it because I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, shortcuts. You know,
Shortcuts.
it's getting the knowledge from someone who has years of expertise in that field or whatever it may be. It's never the same as a manual. A manual
expertise.
is ... That's
all it is.
And having a human touch.
And it's tough to read. It's tough to read every manual, but like, okay, I retain all this information, but like it doesn't mean anything because like it's still not the best way to do anything at all. So you do this stuff and you're like, okay, I get it, like it makes sense, but also it's inefficient. But someone will be like, oh yeah, like this is why. Like it'll be faster if you do it this way first and then you do this. Like a tool that you had never thought of. Like so you're using one tool, but it's like, oh, if you do this first and then do that, so much better. And you're like, I never would have found that if you hadn't told me. But people are like, because of the elitist attitude, and other stuff like that, I don't want to say refuse, but they're like very hard about like not telling you this stuff.
Yeah. And I wish people were a little bit more open. In all kinds of manner.
And not specifically tech, but
yeah. But it's basically just the idea of like hacking knowledge.
It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Which I get because you want to make sure someone's quotations qualify before you give them this information. Whatever. I'm like, I get it, but if I'm asking you intelligent questions and you can be like, okay, like this dude knows what he's talking about, like help me out. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Maybe.
Don't be an asshole.
And I don't know because I'm sure people ask they're like, oh, how can I hack this and do this thing? But it's like, okay, that's a dumbass question. But if I'm like, oh, I tried this, that, and the other, I got here, and then I met this error or this roadblock. Like, did you encounter this? And like, RTFM, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That immediately off-puts me to doing anything in that realm. Like I'm immediately turned off.
I hate it when people do it in person, and I hate it when people do it on the internet.
On forums and stuff. Absolutely,
it's obnoxious.
I don't know.
It drives you crazy.
Yeah, I'm like no, just click off.
And it's not only that it's annoying and they're being dicks, but in addition to that, a lot of times you can't even Google it. Like a friend of mine,
you can't.
Yeah, a friend of mine used to work with Chef. It's like a
configuration tool.
Configuration tool, right? And everything in Chef is called like knife and fork and a spoon and plate and all this crap, right? At the same time, he was learning how to cook. So Google didn't know what the hell to do.
Google's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, well, here's a chef's knife. No, I don't want that. I want this. No, here's a bowl. No,
it's like not that bowl, dude. No, I totally get it, and it's just like, and I feel like the thing is, if you come with if you're speaking in person or even in forums or whatever medium you're communicating through, if you come and you're like, give me the answers, tell me how to do. I'm here. I've done nothing. Give me the answer. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah. So the response actually on that, give me the answer thing. The thing that I see the most common is people a lot of the times, and maybe people, this is the general population feel anyway, people, they think you're asking for the answer. I'm not asking for the answer. I'm asking for the method.
Sometimes,
how did you get there?
Sometimes. Well, from what I've seen in my searches is like when someone comes in, they're like, hey, I'm trying to do this. I have no idea how to get there. Give me the answer. Then it's like, okay, like what have you done? What tools are you using? How are you trying to get there? But if you're like, hey, I'm trying to get from A to B. I tried this. This didn't work. I got this error, but then I did this. I got this error, whatever. If you give detailed information, people usually are like, oh, this is what you need. Like this tool will help you get past that point and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, I don't care about any of it, like just give me the answer, like let me finish this, then the people are less likely to help you because like I don't want to do the work for you.
Yeah. I understand that. Again, I don't know if maybe it's a general population that might just want the answer. Maybe people don't explain themselves properly, which miscommunication is also a problem in general in all fields, nothing tech related. Having a lot of times people want the method of something. How
yes.
to I don't want to know what 2 + 2 is.
Because I mean, like the thing is, like if you are asking for something one time, you're probably gonna do it again and again. So you want to know how to reproduce that.
How do I get there?
How do I get there?
How do I get there? I
Don't-
don't want to know
don't-
that end. I want to know here.
Give me the
What is
meaty
this?
part, because like, okay, you gave me the answer, awesome, but like I need to know how to do it again. I need to reproduce it for next time.
Yes.
And we have a community mic coming up. He's coming on up. I'm ready. And I love your Cowboy Bebop shirt.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so this is actually a major issue I have with PWK and anybody that goes to take that course and tries to get their OCP cert. I mean, with passion, I hate try harder.
Oof.
Oh.
And it's not because it's like, oh, I want to learn how to do this and blah, blah, blah. It's because the entire community thinks that when you ask a question, you want the answer, but really you're wanting the methodology behind it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's not necessarily the answer.
It's
If I
not.
can tell you x plus y equals a greater number than what they were originally and they combine to create this number, that's the methodology. 2 plus 2 is 4. That's an answer.
Right.
And I hate that whole try harder. I think the entire community needs to change and start thinking about methodological teaching.
That's the most succinct answer I've ever heard, and I love it. I'm going to use that again, and I cannot wait till Chin comes back because I'm going to use that. I'm going to throw it immediately in his face. He's not going to be ready for it. I'm going to throw it in his face immediately.
I don't
Thank
know.
you
He's
so
probably
much.
watching.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Yes, but no, that it makes a lot of sense. Like I want the methodology. Like I want to know how to do it for future. I want to be able to reproduce it myself because this isn't a one-time thing. Like I'm not doing this just to be like, oh, I did it, now I'm done. I'm never gonna do this again. It's like I'm gonna do this probably if I'm asking you once, I'm gonna do it again and again, probably. So, like, let's work through it. Like let's help me get a solution. And I mean, I could do it on my own, but if I could, I wouldn't be asking you. Like that's the whole point of the community.
Yeah.
The community quotation marks and whatever.
Right.
Like I want that community of people who know better than me
Yeah.
to help me out and like push me forward. That's
Absolutely.
yeah.
If you're the
that's-
smartest guy in the room, change rooms.
That's also super fucking true.
Yep.
Super fucking true.
So do we want to cover the tweets, the Uber tweet,
Uber tweet.
the emergency presidential broadcast?
I will say. Oh, okay.
Just from just the broadcast part of it.
I'll point it out from a foreigner's perspective. The first time I got one of those emergency alerts, I thought that the nation was collapsing and I was just going to die.
It is,
all
but
over.
a lot slower than that.
Apparently, yeah. And so my first experience with that emergency alert, not specifically the presidential one, but I actually appreciate them now because
like-
now
like-
I know
like-
if there's a flash flood
Like
coming.
oh yeah, like
So,
those.
super useful.
Those are super useful.
Honestly, I gotta be honest with you. I don't really care. It's okay because it's FEMA that's doing this in the first.
It
place.
is
I'm in
FEMA.
the same category as him. I don't care, and I found a way to turn them off. They can be completely disabled.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So
Yeah.
what's your methodology?
Well, number one, I run a Linux phone, but
Wait. What OS do you run?
I
can't-
I have the Ubuntu Touch phone, which is currently dead, but
What OS do you run?
Ubuntu Touch.
Oh, okay.
So
See, here's the thing: is that no one's gonna run that OS.
So
no one else besides you.
that's one way to get around it, but also most of the other flash flood and Amber Alert stuff can be turned off. But I did not have my old phone that had all of that stuff disabled online for the presidential alert, so I can't speak for that specific one. But
So you don't know if your methodology works.
every other emergency notification, I have managed to get rid of. I have not
but you
tested the
don't know.
presidential.
So if there's a flood, he's not gonna know.
Yeah.
If there's
Yeah.
if there's a
Fuck you,
flood,
floods.
I took a swimming lessons class when I was 8 years old. I'm fine.
Prepared.
But to be serious, you don't know if your methodology works. It could be and not that I'm saying you're wrong, but it could be delivered via a different method, and you don't know because your phone was off. And like I said, with the touch phone, no one's using that.
Apparently, I'm no one.
A large 0.01% of America is using Ubuntu OS,
More people drink RC cola than use Ubuntu.
and that's the thing. When I
just saying.
when I run into a lot of stuff like this, and people are like, "Oh, what can I do?" I'm like, "Well, you could run this super fucking contrived, not conniving, contrived OS." And they're like, "What does it take to do that?" I'm like, "Oh, you got to install this, upgrade this firmware." Like, no, and I'm like, "That makes sense."
In that case, welcome to presidential alerts.
I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
Fucking 5-10 years ago, Doxy was like, "Yeah, I'm all for that." Now I'm like, "No, man, I'm not. Nope, I
No.
don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's gonna break my phone probably. And I'm gonna have to fucking work on it just to get rid of a presidential the whatever FEMA text alert. that's not worth it.
Yeah, it's just FEMA.
It's not worth it.
And honestly, if there's something stupid happening, and there's a lot of good opportunities for stupid things to happen these days, I'd like to know. That's just me. I'm just kind of weird.
Probably not like via president. I wouldn't want him to tell me what's going on, but I mean, other people will tell me what's going on.
Well,
It's fine.
FEMA is who runs it. It's not literally the president.
It's not. We'll talk about it afterwards.
All right.
But the president's alert is not a cause for alarm.
Yeah.
It could almost not be disabled. I think the only thing we saw was that older firmwares don't get it. Maybe.
Yeah,
the only thing we saw was that the Nexus 5, which we assume had older, unupdated firmware, was the only one to not receive it. But
Yeah,
he
he's
might
got
tell us
some.
more.
Yeah, I set up a bunch of phones right before it happened, and the only one that didn't get the alert was the Nexus 5. Didn't get a text, didn't get anything, but everything else got at least the tone, and the newest
Android P.
Android P actually read it to me.
Oh, really?
It read it to
Mine
me
did
twice.
Wow.
It's like just in case you didn't hear it the first time.
Well, that one I had 2 SIMs in.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
I had dual SIMs, and the first one read as soon as it happened.
Sorry, were they both American Sims?
They're both T-Mobile.
Okay.
I also had another phone. My Windows phone had a dual SIM, which was T-Mobile and AT&T.
I'd be curious to wonder if it worked on like a European sim in America. I mean, obviously we can't test that.
I had somebody who was overseas with an American SIM, and they did not receive it.
Okay, that's interesting. All right.
Yeah.
I wonder what about here, like if your T-Mobile SIM was from Germany, I wonder if it would get it.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
So many permutations that we have no idea about.
Since 5 of those phones of the 7 that I 3 of the phones didn't have actual SIMs in them.
Mm-hmm.
They were just completely empty. I used them for just browsing around.
And they got it.
They got it. So I suspect anything that's within that cell area would probably get the message no matter what it was or what the SIM was.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, biggest thing is it's not a cause for alarm. You can't disable it, so don't do weird stuff to your phone to try to disable the alert.
Yeah.
Run old stuff.
Just run old stuff. Just like you already do. Don't update your shit, and you're fine. It's awesome. No big
Yeah.
deal.
We'll get rid of those pesky flood alerts. You don't need those in
you
the
don't
I
need
mean,
those.
2, 3, 4, 5 versions down the line, you won't get shit.
Yeah,
Awesome.
piece of cake.
done.
Are we ready for the lightning round?
Oh, well, why not? Do you have the link for said lightning round?
So here's the thing. I don't remember what the link Chen brought up last time was, so we're going to use ZDNet.
Well, let's go to this.
You're trying to find the website he used last time?
Yes.
It was Hacker News.
It
actually
was
have
Hacker
it.
News.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Ketsu coming with the clutch.
Right?
Wait, that's okay. That's not what I'm looking for.
It is
Hacker
called
News. Okay.
thehackernews.com.
The news.y combinator? Thehackernews.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Found it. All right. So who wants to go first? There's only 3 of us.
Well,
Not me.
I'll
I'll let
All
everyone
right,
else
I'll
go.
go. I'll go first.
By default, it seems like it's Satchel.
All right.
All right. Well, we
So-
talked about that already.
Yeah, we already got that one. So,
yes. Do you want to explain what the lightning round is?
oh yes. Okay. So
please.
the lightning round is we are going to read. We're going to surf on over on the internet superhighway to thehackernews.com, as you may or may not have heard just recently, and we're just going to give only the headlines, and we are each going to give a tweet's length opinion about that subject. So just here's the headline. What do you think? Hot take. Here we go.
We are going to skip the first story because we talked about it a lot already today.
Already done. Yeah.
So, next story. Wi-Fi gets simplified version numbers and next version is Wi-Fi 6.
I think it's generally okay for the general public.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're ditching the letters.
Because I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't know what the fuck A, B, C, G networks are. I mean, I
Yeah.
do, but it's a dumb naming convention.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's
Yeah.
dumb.
I hope it is, because I'm seeing here. Do you know what the latest version of Wi-Fi is? It's okay if you don't know. It's Wi-Fi is 802.11 AC. So if
Hey.
they are, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that it doesn't go in necessarily, I think, alphabetical order.
No,
or
no,
anything.
it's not alphabetical
No,
at all.
there's
no.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm glad that they're going to Wi-Fi 6, so that
But I mean,
this is 6.
but
Yeah.
it's only good if that incorporates everything, unless because I mean, what if they come out like a 6.1 and like 6 is compatible with everything AC, 6.1 is only compatible with BG, whatever. I'm just whatever. Dumb.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to make everything backwards compatible, unless it's like a full version number, like you have to be within 6.
Like 6, and you like, and maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Very excited. We'll see. It's gonna be kind of weird picking up routers that say we're version 6 compatible,
Wi-Fi 6.
not AC now. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
All right. Bank servers hacked to trick ATMs into spitting out millions in cash.
Who doesn't like millions in cash?
I want to know what is happening because maybe I'll catch a couple hundreds. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Totally sounds like a thing in a comedy movie, like zany hijinks ensue.
Like
You
so,
know?
like the worst best criminals, like, let's just get a couple $100s out of this ATM, and they're like, oh shit, it's millions. Hey, that's Office Space. No, not Office Space.
I mean,
Superman.
if you,
Superman.
Superman.
Wait, was it Office Space?
Actually, it's the same premise in both of those. Yeah,
yeah, okay. I
we're
couldn't
gonna
think
take
of
a penny out of every account.
out of every
and-
transaction, but
Yeah.
but in reality, we ended up taking like $1 out, and then they fucked up. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, Facebook finds no evidence hackers access connected third-party apps. This is probably from the huge breach last week.
Yeah.
So you made the fingers like
Well, I mean, because it's in the article, it does say no evidence.
no evidence. I feel like they were, and I don't know what compelled them to be upfront about the hack in the first place, but I feel like they're pretty above board. But again, I don't work for Facebook, so what do I know?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
that's my thoughts.
Most of the time, we just make speculations, unless you are on the inside and you are privy to a lot of those things.
Welcome to Greynoise. We're all speculation.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
all
much,
it is.
yeah. I thought Facebook was the devil before, and this does not change that.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen a bit more of a since the news went out. So
Yeah.
what happened? A few more people kind of shut down their Facebook.
Really? Since the big hack or whatever?
But, yeah, maybe
They'll be
some-
back. They'll be back. They always come back.
I'd like to leave. I haven't been able to do it yet. I don't check it.
You'll be back. Oh, like I said, you can shut down your I have a very enjoyable experience on Facebook.
Yeah.
I block people I don't want to see, like for 30 days or whatever, because then they calm down usually.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I just don't give a shit about a lot, whatever. Like, I like skip through. It's a lot of memes for me. A lot of memes, and I mean, I want the good memes. Whatever. Neither here nor there.
Gotta have
Next.
those dank memes.
I mean,
mean-
what else am I gonna do if I'm not looking at memes on the internet? What else is the internet for?
I don't know. I don't.
Sharing information? I don't think so.
No, apparently
well,
not.
Memes are information, so kind of.
Kind of. If you use them correctly.
If
Yeah.
you use them correctly.
But cryptic at the same time if you don't know what the meme is about or
Then-
or the context.
then you shouldn't be on that page.
Yeah, true story.
Or use Know Your Meme.
Know your meme.
I mean, you could, yeah,
Cheaters.
yeah.
Cheaters.
But then at least you won't use, let's say, the wrong meme to
In the
say
wrong
a certain
situation.
thing. Yeah.
I mean,
It's important.
that's no worse than your grandparent using the wrong emoji in the wrong situation.
But it's the same thing.
You're right. It's not better. It's not worse. It's the same thing, and which is terrible.
Yeah.
You're right.
Why'd you send me poop, Grandma? It's a happy face. He's smiling.
Look at him. He's so happy.
He's so happy.
I mean, I would be too. That's fine.
Right.
Okay. Google announces 5 major. Okay, I don't care about that. Next one. New iPhone passcode bypass hack exposes phone photos and contacts.
New iPhone. Oh, okay.
So there's a new iPhone hack, bypasses your passcode, exposes your photos and contacts.
Well, that's bad.
If you have some risque photos, oh shit.
Get deleting.
Get deleting.
Get to deleting.
Get out of.
Send them out
Get out.
immediately.
Just
and
no.
get rid of them.
Then you're fine. Done. Smash it. Put it down the toilet. What photos? I don't know what you're talking about.
I've never even seen a phone.
I don't even. What phone?
What's a phone?
Exactly. What's
What
a phone?
the fuck is a cell phone?
I have a Nokia 3510. Yeah. it's-
Easy peasy.
No,
Easy.
easy. Done.
I mean, honestly, that's the best answer. Delete your phone. Break it. Get
Delete
rid
your
of it.
phone.
Smash.
Hit your lawyer. Join a Facebook.
Boom.
No,
Wait.
probably skip the Facebook.
Boom.
and then you're
Join Jim something lawyer. Okay. Anyway,
We'll do one.
I don't care.
More. One more.
Let's do one more.
Ghost DNS. New DNS changer botnet hijacked over 100,000 routers. Holy shit.
Password.
Guess what?
it's a lot of.
Huh.
It's always worrying at the possibility
Of what could happen.
Yes. And as I don't know how advanced the government is in America specifically in terms of what they're doing. Not in counter to this, but equal of this.
Very advanced.
Yeah.
Very advanced.
So, okay, yes, I can say it's bad. I don't want to worry about information to a different country. I'm quite comfortable with information being here.
Yes.
I'm not as comfortable with the possibility of something like that happening.
Wait, are you saying you're more worried about like, so if this rogue DNS agent changer can do this, what can our government do?
Not so much our government. I hope that our government is on the same level
At least as
them. Because I'm thinking more of tactics and
other countries are using.
Yes.
That's a fucking very good point.
Because other countries, I would just like to know, are they better than, I'm not saying, I can't say we because I'm not American, but are they better than you guys here? What are they doing different?
Here's the thing. America's number one, USA. So,
I mean,
who knows? Honestly, I don't know.
We're number one and thinking we're number one.
Hey, I'll take it.
There you go.
But I mean, it is worrying when you see something like that coming from a different country.
Yeah.
And I would just like to, I would like to know of what steps are we in
Capabilities of other countries.
Of other countries.
You're never gonna know.
Yeah.
There's the kicker. Welcome to espionage or whatever. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
All right, Satchel.
Well, as you can tell, we have reached the end of the lightning round, which means we've run out of time, but we have never run out of shit to say. So join us here next week at 7:30, same great time. I shouldn't have even started that.
You do it, dude. Same great channel, man.
Yep.
That fucking YouTube channel.
Damn it, man. But at any rate, so yes, if you'd like to join the show live, you can always do so by coming on down to 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in beautiful downtown Henderson, Nevada. And if you'd like to know more about us, you can go to greynoi.se. With that, my name is Richard Satchel.
I'm Doxy.
Ketsway.
And that's the show. Have a good night.
Good night.